I think some of you guys might already know where this is going, but let's get started anyway. I would say right now there are 3 iconic villains instantly recognizable in mainstream. Some magazine sites will try to tell you things like Kylo Ren is the number 7 most iconic villain of all time. Others will put Magneto all the way down at number 49. Empire made their list, and it's the number 1 search term on Google right now for greatest villains of all time. They made their list after Avengers Endgame came out, and Thanos isn't even on the list. We're talking about Thanos here. He has 6 years of build-up for his movie. He still smashed everyone's expectations out of the park. But Thanos got no love from Empire. He got no love from USA Today. And tonight I'll get no love from me, because he doesn't make it in the top 2 most iconic villains. He's number 3. We're here to talk about the number 1 and number 2 most iconic villains, Joker and Darth Vader. Now, one of these guys usually beats the other on these lists. I'm not going to tell you who wins usually till the end, but I am going to tell you this will be a fair and honest scoring, and I won't let another publication dictate who wins the Janitor Villain Showdown Sunday Brawl. Let's start with the live-action movies. Now, before America was introduced to the gritty Tim Burton Joker, the only Joker people had was Cesar Romero. So for 12 years, this was the matchup. Then Batman comes out and people started to realize Joker is actually kind of cool and Darth Vader is just an old guy that died. But then in 2002 and 2005, George Lucas is like, no, Darth Vader is actually a good-looking muscular man and he has a smoking hot wife. And now Jack Nicholson is just an old guy that eats a submarine sandwich on his boat. Then Joker was like, well, if you're going to be played by a good-looking, long-haired guy that appears to be in a restless, chaotic overdrive, I can do that too. So bam, we got Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight. And then some other stuff happened between 2008 and 2019. I don't really remember anything significant. And now the Joker is somehow a symbol of the incel community? And for months, people were trying to say that watching the Joker movie means you're either at risk of getting mass murdered or you could potentially be a perpetrator of the mass murder. Or at least that was the story, until it turned out the movie Frozen 2 actually had more violence on opening night. Yes, it was the old switcheroo. Turns out the real danger was Frozen 2. Of course, I'm going to assume everyone here has seen my Joker video. It was my favorite comic book movie of 2019. I gave it a 10 out of 10, and I still stand by that score until I'm dead and buried underneath miles of trash. But now there's talks of there being another new Joker in the Batman movie starring Robert Pattinson. There have been some rumblings on the possibility of a Joker sequel. The movie made $1 billion. I promise you WB is foaming at the mouth for Phoenix and Phillips to come back. So how many Jokers is WB going to have on screen? 1? 2, 3.
Are you sweet talking me?
Let's see what's going on over at Disney with their $4 billion villain Darth Vader. He got 14 minutes of screen time in Rogue One. That epic slaughter at the end of the movie, sure, it was cool. I'm not going to say it wasn't, but something about it felt pretty empty to me. I went in hoping this movie was going to be very focused on Vader, and I was pretty let down. My expectations might be a little too high, but could you imagine if Disney actually made a character-driven Darth Vader movie? I feel like one good Darth Vader movie is all it would take to blow Star Wars fans' minds again. It could effectively bridge a disconnect that a lot of Star Wars fans struggle with. I used to struggle with it too until I read more Darth Vader comics. See, the issue is that some people have is they have a hard time picturing Hayden in the suit, probably because we only got about 20 minutes with Hayden as Darth Vader. That's why Rogue One felt empty to me, because it didn't really do anything to bridge the gap between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope in terms of Darth Vader's story, who is a lot more interesting than Jyn Erso or any of these people that die. Here's some cool ass shit that happens in Darth Vader comics that would make a badass movie, but Disney will never do it because they're cowards. Darth Vader in the Ghost Prison. Darth Vader goes to a space prison that incarcerates enemies of the Jedi and Republic with the intent on releasing the prisoners to help them fight an insurrection within the Empire. When they arrive at the prison, an officer looks at Vader and says, 208 prisoners, Lord Vader, but this can't be correct. According to these records, this man Anakin Skywalker arrested more than half the prisoners.
The reports are correct. Skywalker was one of the Jedi's most skilled generals.
What happened to him?
I killed him.
Then Lord Vader sets all the prisoners loose and tells them all to start murdering each other, and whoever is still standing can join him. He doesn't just make the prisoners fight, he makes everyone standing there fight for their lives, including himself. He even makes the cripple guy fight. In the middle of it all, Darth Vader is just slaughtering people with his lightsaber. It's an epic story, one of my favorite Darth Vader moments. After Disney bought Star Wars, they released some comics through Marvel that are actually really amazing. If you ever get a chance to pick up Skywalker Strikes, it takes place between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. I would also highly recommend Darth Vader, Dark Lord of the Sith. I read this book yesterday. It was a lot of fun. It takes place immediately after Revenge of the Sith. The first couple pages of the book show what happens right after the Vader slams Palpatine against a wall and is all pissed off Padme is dead, and then Sidious starts force lightning Vader. It's a must read. But my favorite Darth Vader comic book moment comes from Darth Vader 2015 series. Darth Vader hires a bounty hunter, Boba Fett, to capture the boy that destroyed the Death Star. At the end of the 6th book, Boba Fett tells Vader the boy escaped, but he learned his name: Skywalker. But of course, there's really no comparison for who has the more iconic and well-known comic book moments. It's gotta go to Joker. Talked about this before in my other Joker videos, but my favorite Joker comics are The Dark Knight Returns, Joker, the Endgame storyline, The Killing Joke. Joker will always have the bigger and more iconic comic book moments, and it's not just the old stuff that's interesting. Batman recently fought a new villain that's breaking through into the comic book scene, the Batman Who Laughs in Dark Knight's Metal, which came out in 2017. Look at that cover. Batman is a knight that is riding a Joker dragon. That is one of the coolest things I've ever seen today. The Batman Who Laughs is basically just Batman from the dark multiverse, but he's been poisoned by the Joker with a purified form of chemicals that gradually turns Batman into the Joker. So he's kind of a fusion between the two. He has Bruce's resources, intelligence, and strength, but he also has the psychotic and sadistic twisted mind of the Joker. In the final issue, Batman is getting his shit kicked in by the Batman Who Laughs, and when all hope seems lost, the Batman Who Laughs puts a gun to his head, and Batman says, "Just fire the damn gun." And then bang, it's the old switcheroo. He was actually talking to the Joker, and then the coolest thing I've ever seen happens: Batman and Joker team up. I think something that keeps both these characters fighting for that #1 spot is they both have a lot of good video game appearances. Joker has some amazing stuff in the Batman Arkham games, you guys don't need me to tell you that. And now Joker is even in Mortal Kombat 11? Something like that would have blown my mind back in 1998, but now nothing surprises me anymore.
I am dead inside.
I gotta say though, I feel like Star Wars might be doing some pretty cool stuff with Darth Vader right now. I like playing as him in Battlefront 2. I think Battlefront 2 is a decent game. I don't play it that often anymore because I'm more of a Battle Royale guy, but I was so intrigued by the prospect of fighting with Darth Vader in virtual reality that I got an Oculus Quest. Remember the Star Wars Trilogy arcade game? That was the only game that mattered at the arcade. Rest in peace, arcades. But fuck it, you don't need social interaction anymore. Who the hell needs human contact when you have an Oculus Quest? Just strap half the weight of a bowling ball to the front of your head and shove a computer screen 2 inches away from your eye, and now you can have virtual friends. But besides just being able to have virtual friends, you also get to fight Darth Vader. The story with this game is fantastic. You get so many amazing moments of internal struggle with Anakin as Darth Vader. You see more about how Anakin is still blaming everyone but himself for Padme's death.
She was almost within reach. Now she is lost to me again. Because of you!
Plus, the finale of an actual lightsaber-style battle with Vader is something every Star Wars fan will want to experience. But, and I'm going to make this quick, this is going to be a quick Oculus Quest rant. The limitations here are from the platform itself. I want to be honest, the technology of the Quest is very amazing, but it's not ready for mainstream. At one point I was going to make a video titled Oculus Quest, I feel like I'm going to throw up. And it was all about if you get the slightest bit of motion sickness playing one of these games, it is really hard to ever pick it up again. I got motion sickness so bad one time that I had a headache for 3 days, and that's not even my biggest complaint about virtual reality. My biggest complaint about virtual reality is this heavy ass thing on my head hurts. My eyes feel like they're burning. I don't live in a basketball gymnasium that it needs to actually play these games. When you play at home, you can't walk anywhere. You're just gonna start knocking shit over. So it doesn't really feel like virtual reality when all you can do is walk with the joystick while you move your head and swing your arms. My hope for virtual reality was that it would feel very open, but instead it just feels very claustrophobic. For instance, when me and Darth Vader teamed up and we were fighting an army of robots, I wanted to go help him and fight by his side, but you can't walk over there. You just can't. Tried to go help Darth Vader, but not only are there physical barriers standing in my way, but virtual barriers as well. This doesn't give me a good virtual reality experience. I just get a headache. I still enjoyed the experience of Vader Immortal. It's the only game I've ever completed on my Quest, but would I recommend buying a virtual reality gaming console just to fight Darth Vader? No, I would not. It's not something the average person will want to play every day. These are both amazing, both with amazing voice actors, but I gotta start wrapping this video up because I'm trying to do a review of The Last of Us 2, and I heard the game is 25 hours long, and I've been waiting 6 years to see what happens to Joel, and I've still managed to avoid all the spoilers, so I'm trying to wrap this video up. So that does it for Joker and Darth Vader in comics, video games, TV shows, and movies, and there's absolutely nothing I've missed. Wait a minute. Oh my God. There is now a nationwide movement sweeping across the country, and it's all starting on change.org. That's right, you guessed it. There is a petition to release the Ayer cut of Suicide Squad. Looking over my notes here, it appears I accidentally skipped over Jared Leto's Joker and his contribution to Joker legacy in film. Wow, how could I ever forget such an unforgettable performance? Let's get real for a second here. A lot of people are making outrageous claims that I don't actually like the Jared Leto Joker and I'm just being an asshole. All I'm trying to do is raise enough Patreon money so I can fund a plane ticket to join Jared Leto's cult and become best friends with him. Look, do I think Jared Leto's Joker was good? Yes, it was brilliant. Do I think the Ayer cut will convince the rest of America the genius of the Jared Leto Joker? No, probably not, but you're missing the point. The point is that he doesn't have to convince all of America he's a good Joker. He only has to convince half. I've gone on record saying this before and I stand by this statement, but at least half of America is completely brain dead. We are literal meat bag consumption machines and will eat whatever corporate shit you shove in our face. The Jared Leto Joker is our Thanksgiving turkey. He's the Joker we understand. He's not complicated. He's just the Joker. He does things the Joker would do. Because I'm going to be honest, it seems like the themes of Todd Phillips' Joker went over a lot of people's heads. Spoiler alert, the message of the movie was the media only makes things worse, and if you neglect an entire class of people, all of society suffers. But yeah, America wouldn't know anything about either of those things, would we? We need a Joker for the guy that's working the third shift at Taco Bell. We need a Joker for that weird cousin at weddings that has his ears pierced and only drinks Bud Lights. He's the janitor's Joker. The villain who usually wins these rankings in magazines is Darth Vader. But come on, look at the Google Trend searches. Everyone loves Darth Vader. He's a classic villain who can never be replaced. Only Anakin is Darth Vader. He's the chosen one. Who amongst us can live up to that? No one. But if you wake up one day and told me I want to star as Joker in a movie and I want it to be just as good as Suicide Squad, well then I would believe that was a real possibility.